Hello, Blake Lively here.
Colleen Hoover.
And It Ends With Us is in theaters now, so grab your friends, wear your florals, and head out to see it.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
What about my bump?
The Blake Lively situation has gotten even worse, and it has taken over my social media feed, so I figured we would discuss it together. This is just such a confusing story, so I'm going to try to simplify it for you as much as I can. So there's a movie that just came out called It Ends With Us, starring Blake Lively and Justin Baldwin.
We do have It Starts With Us, so I'm hoping to see you back in the double duty role.
I think there are better people for that one.
And it's essentially about domestic violence, abuse, and being stuck in that cycle.
What do you want men to take away from this film?
I want men, first of all, I want men to stop asking the question, why do women stay?
Yeah.
Right? I want men to take accountability. I want men to hold other men accountable. This particular film, I want men to go to the theater and in some way see a version of themselves. You know, you have two very different characters. Both of them, in Atlas and Ryle, have had past trauma. One handles it very different than the other. My other hope is that the men who have not done the work, who have not done the work to heal, if they see bits of themselves in Ryle, have a chance to step back and say, you know what, I don't want to blow up my life.
I haven't personally seen it yet, but it looks quite intense, and I could see how it could be very triggering to some who have gone through something similar. So you may be asking yourself, what's the big issue here? Why is everyone canceling her? Well, it's because of her press tour. This movie is dark, yet it's being advertised as a rom-com for some reason, encouraging the girlies to put on their florals and go watch it.
Hello, Blake Lively here. And It Ends With Us is in theaters now, so grab your friends, wear your florals, and head out to see it.
This makes people who are going to watch this movie blindsided by what they're about to see.
The more I look into this, the more fishy it is, and it just seems a bit tone deaf. Why are we using a movie about DV to promote your hair brand? Why is the PR packet funny and fluffy instead of raising awareness and talking about the heart of this film? And why is it giving Deadpool x Wolverine x It Ends With Us? Like, I appreciate that they're supporting each other as husband and wife with their respective movies, but it just seems tone deaf given the nature of this film.
People are coming for Blake Lively because she is using this opportunity to promote her new hair care brand, which hasn't received great reviews at all. It's probably due to the controversy.
I'm here to de-influence you from getting the Blake Brown line from Blake Lively, and I almost didn't even make this video because I'm honestly so embarrassed that I got it anyway. When I tell you that my hair has never felt so unhealthy in my entire life, like, what did she put in this thing?
If you're not Blake Lively, just keep scrolling. This video is only for Blake. It smells great. It's amazing. I only use the shampoo because everything else was sold out, and you don't believe in conditioner. And this is how my hair turned out. So I'm having a huge hair crisis right now.
Packaging is just very clunky. This stuff's gonna be a nightmare in your shower.
She's also seen wearing these fancy dresses on her press tour, making it seem very fun and lighthearted.
What's your childhood dream?
To wear Britney Spears' Versace dress. For me, what was really important for the character was that you understood she was like a walking, talking contradiction, but also she could be all things at once. She could be both strong and vulnerable. She could be both masculine and feminine. She could be artistic and overly expressive and fashion and fabulous, but she could also be like very grounded in utility.
Completely avoiding the fact that this movie is about domestic violence. There's nothing fun or lighthearted about that.
The movie covers domestic violence, but what's important about this film is that she is not just a survivor and she's not just a victim. And while those are huge things to be, they're not her identity. She's not defined by something that someone else did to her or an event that happened to her, even if it's multiple events. She defines herself.
On top of that, Colleen Hoover, the author of It Ends With Us, has decided to release her own nail polish collection. She got so much backlash because none of the proceeds are going to DV survivor charities or any type of fundraisers at all, especially because the nail polish collection was inspired by This Is Us. All the shades in her collections are named after characters in the book, and one of the names she chose for a color is Brave Blush, which is just totally tone deaf considering this whole movie is about abuse. But back to Blake Lively.
Survivors of generational trauma and domestic abuse are going to see this film. I'm curious, what is the message that you hope that they take away from it?
You are so much, and not to minimize it anyway, but you are so much more than just a survivor or just a victim. While that is a huge thing, you are a person of multitudes, and what someone has done to you doesn't define you. You define you, and what you have in you and what you're capable of and what you have done and are doing and will do is so much bigger than anything anyone else can do to you. It's so empowering and rooting and grounding, and I hope that people see that, because this is a story that covers domestic violence, but it's not about domestic violence, it's about this one.
Interview has been circulating where Blake Lively is super rude to the reporter.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
What about my bump?
You've got two nice ones.
And they are kind of bumps, aren't they?
No, not bumps. The lovely lady lumps. Check it out.
Later on, the interviewer revealed that she was actually struggling with infertility during that time, and that mean girl behavior was just traumatizing to her.
No one wants to talk about the clothes, but I wonder if they would ask the men about the clothes.
I would.
I love Jesse's suits and how
that's what I'm saying. His wardrobe was beautiful. Those
so
high-waisted pants.
I
wish men wore high-waisted pants like that still. Or their father with his tank top in bed.
It's so good.
It's just like
Did you
that.
catch
You could feel
the
it.
tablecloth on the light in the Italian restaurant when they eat spaghetti?
I didn't notice that.
There's
Yeah,
so
I
much
feel like-
warmth of everything, you know.
Yeah, it's not just the women that have the clothes.
But
I feel like the women
Victoria-
get the conversation, but it's like every detail with everybody. And then
What do you feel like is the biggest misconceptions about fame and Hollywood in general?
The idea that people think that they know you, I think because of the how intrusive media is these days. People care so much more about your personal life than they do your work, and if you aren't open with your personal life, then they just make it up for you and share it for you. So I think the biggest misconception I see often is people feeling like they know someone that they don't. They know what the media has created of someone, and the disappointing thing is when you meet the people, they're always so much more awesome than they're portrayed to. I mean, that's normally my experience. And even people that are portrayed to be really great people, they're just a lot more complicated and interesting and nuanced and caring and thoughtful. That's always nice, you know, to see that your idea of someone isn't always who they actually are.
That whole interview was just so uncomfortable and, dare I say, unprofessional. The reporter then came on to TMZ and did an interview explaining how Blake Lively still hasn't apologized to her.
And we started talking about the Blake Lively interview, and then, I've never uploaded that to YouTube because I was kind of like embarrassed by it. And I felt, in that situation, I felt a little ashamed at first because I didn't know what happened. I didn't know what I said that was so bad that made her and Parker behave like that. I think it's important to let people know that these things goes on, and maybe it can help or prevent it from happening again. Someone said, "Oh, it's funny you're doing this now. Have you seen this other controversy?" And to be honest with you, I hadn't. I was invited to a press screening of the movie, so I'd seen the movie, but I had no idea about all the other stuff. And some of that now makes sense to me. I didn't know anything about him at all, and I read about what had happened, and I wasn't there, so I don't know what happened. Considering how she was acting in front of me, I'm thinking, okay, maybe she wasn't the easiest person to work with. I don't know. I can't really comment on it because I wasn't there, so I don't know the real story here. There is a reason sometimes why rumors, will appear. For me, it was just a conversation starter. She was sitting there. I think she was probably 8 months pregnant. She had it wasn't a small bump even, it was quite big. Just wanted to say it in a kind of disarming way, congrats on your little bump. I don't understand still why that is offensive. I find it a little offensive that she said it back to me, to be honest with you. I was like, do I have a bump? Yeah, it was strange behavior to me. If she wants to apologize, that would be amazing. I think if you behave badly, if you own up to that and own it and say, you know, I had a terrible day, I'm so sorry.
Then we have others coming out of the woodwork talking about how she wasn't very nice on the set of Gossip Girl. Let me just say, I used to be obsessed with Gossip Girl. In fact, Blake Lively's character Serena was my absolute favorite. But that's neither here or there. Apparently, she just wasn't very nice to work with.
Like 10-ish years ago, I used to work as a stand-in and a photo double on Gossip Girl, and there was one episode that I met the whole cast besides Blake and Leighton, and I was talking to the PAs, and I said, oh damn, I really wish Blake and Leighton were here. I would have loved to meet them. I'm such a fan of the show. Who wouldn't want to meet Blair and Serena? PAs were all like, oh yeah, Leighton is so nice, she's so sweet, she's so fun, she's so caring, on and on and on about Leighton. They didn't say anything about Blake, and I very specifically said I would want to meet both of them, and they just gushed and gushed about Leighton and didn't say a word, nothing about Blake. You know the old saying, if you have nothing nice to say nothing at all, especially if you're a professional working with this actress. I don't know. That was always really weird to me, and now seeing all of this come out.
Apparently no one had anything good to say about her on the set of Gossip Girl. Before all of this controversy, people really loved Blake Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds, who cares? She was known for her iconic Met Gala looks.
Blake Lively has been one to watch on the Met Gala steps for some time now, and the evolution of her fashion from the Gossip Girl days to now is quite a journey.
The Atelier Versace creation featured another bold skirt, which would become a signature style for Blake going forward. Case in point, the Heavenly Bodies theme, where Blake gave us a real showstopper in another Atelier Versace creation. Her red and gold look also featured an eye-catching crown. But her 2022 ensemble has to be one of the most iconic looks in Met Gala history. Completely embodying the spirit of the theme, In America, an anthology of fashion, Blake's rosy look was inspired by the Empire State Building and Manhattan architecture. Then she shocked everyone by transforming her skirt to reveal beautiful blue and copper fabrics, giving the illusion of a modern Statue of Liberty.
Now everyone's saying that they're fake and out of touch. And what I have to say to that is, isn't every celebrity fake and out of touch? I think this just goes to show that we should not be idolizing anyone or thinking highly of these celebrities, because we don't really know what they're like behind the scenes.
To see that your idea of someone isn't always who they actually are.
And my honest opinion, I don't really know why people care about any of this. I'm not going to be watching the movie, but if you are, or if you've already seen it, please let me know in the comments what you thought of it. But that's going to do it for me for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you comment, like, and subscribe, and I cannot wait to see you in my next one. Bye!